Well, that was fun. Well, not really. The Astros got swept in Chicago. Glad I didn't fly there and watch the game today. Justin Verlander looked okay. What the heck is going on? We're going to try to solve all the problems the Astros have in a 32-minute show. Let's go, Eric.
Jainel Diaz, this is Locked On Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me at Eric Talks Astros. You can find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. Thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Go and check out the Locked On Astros podcast. And today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed. That's $150. Win or lose, visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started today. And I know that Mauricio Dubon said that if you would have said the Astros would be here, he would be thinking that's your lying or your I don't want to use the word that he used, but it was a bad word. But Brett, when you're not cussing at the TV, where can they find you at?
You can find me at HM House on X, Instagram, and TikTok. You can find me at Back to the Bullpen on X and Instagram. You can find me at Stros411 on Facebook, where I'm always positive, always Stros. Yeah, not necessarily cussing at the TV. I think at this point I'm kind of numb to it. It's kind of like, kind of like that fighter in the ring that just keeps getting punched. And you're like, how is that guy standing? And I'm like, well, he probably can't feel his face right now. That's definitely not the weekend reference, although we are upon the weekend here pretty soon. And the Astros are headed to Mexico to hopefully pounce and trounce and demolish the Colorado Rockies in what's basically known as Super Rocky Stadium, because balls fly out of that ballpark. Maybe in John Singleton, maybe his bloop singles will turn into home runs down there. But look, this is a team that is bewildered by the mystery of baseball. And so that's what we're going to talk about today, because when you look at certain aspects of the game and the Astros and what they've done this year, it's very hard to believe how they are where they are. And I'm going to tell you an interesting fact I found out about Mr. Mauricio Dubon.
Yeah, so after the game, he said it's a slap in the face. If you would have told me we're going to be like this after we broke camp, I would have called BS. Things are not going our way right now. We're just going to have to battle through it, stay positive, and keep playing baseball. I mean, you're just looking at what they're doing. This is their worst start since 1969. They are 7-19 right now. So if you just think about, the Astros have lost 5 games in a row. They have lost 12 of their last 15. They have been swept 4 times this season. In their last 9 games, they've lost 8 of those games. They are 9 for 58 with runners in scoring position. And so basically they have struggled. And actually, the Astros got a run in the first inning today. The Astros had their first lead in the first inning since 4-17. So there's a lot of things that have happened in this game, and then they got blown a little bit later. But the Astros are struggling right now. They have the 5th worst run differential at -36 right now. Only the White Sox, the Rockies, the Marlins, and A's have a worse run differential. The White Sox are 3-22. The Marlins are 6-20. The Rockies are 6-19. The Astros are 7-19. So it's bad, dude. I don't know what to say. It's bad. And I don't think anybody would expect this team to go off of ALCS last year to look this bad.
Oh, no. Yeah, definitely not. I mean, look, I guess there's, I'm trying to find something.
You can't follow it up, right? You can't follow that up. That's just
you can't follow it up. Well, here's the thing, Eric.
Hey,
this is going to sound so lame, but at least the AL West sucks this year. I mean, I think the Mariners might be 1 or 2 games over 500. They're in first place. But look, Mauricio Dubon leads the league with batting average, runners in scoring position. He's also one of the worst in the league when nobody's on base.
Mm.
When this guy gets up and he has 3 or 4 at bats with nobody on base, he's one of the worst in baseball. This is Mauricio Dubon, who we were like, we need to get this guy more at bats. And I'm like, I don't know. We're on his scoring position. He hits. He's the only one hitting. The rest of the team is terrible with runners in scoring position. He's the only one risping out there. I mean, it is insane because we lead in all these offensive categories. We've gotten some really good work out of the bullpen. You know, look, the silver lining is we're not getting crushed. We're not getting beat like 14-0. A lot of these games are close, winnable games. So you wonder if and when we get a regular rotation back and you have, Javier's now on the freaking IL. But if you can get Ronel Blanco, continue let JV shoving the way he's been doing, because he wasn't bad today. He wasn't great. He wasn't bad. And everybody, and I asked a question on X. Should Joe Espada have pulled, Justin Verlander? I don't necessarily have a problem with it. I think Verlander was more upset about the umpire calling strikes and balls, and that's why Espada got ejected later in the game. But this team, man, they just don't feel like they are themselves right now. And the problem is, I think everybody across the board is pressing. So everybody deserves criticism because there's not really anybody making a difference. I mean, Eric, they should have put up 3 or 4 runs on that guy, because after they got that first run, that dude sat down, 13 or 14 or 15 in a row after that. So he settled down, and they didn't have an answer for him. And can we be done with the Singleton days? Because anything Singleton hits, it goes barely out of the infield. Singleton looks at...
He had the 2 hits down the right field line yesterday.
You know what he did today? He struck out looking with a pitch down the middle. He strikes out more looking at the ball down the middle than anybody on this team. I've been very fair, but this team cannot afford to have Singleton in the lineup. I'm sorry.
Well, we're going to talk about it in a little bit, but there may be a replacement that's coming up to joining the Astros in Mexico. So I think this is a tryout, so to speak, to see what he can do. We'll talk about what his stats are doing too. So we'll talk about Justin Verlander too. I do want to address some of your things, what you're talking about. But the good thing is, like you said, nobody's really running away with AL West right now, but everything's going bad with the Astros. Like, you got the RISP is like, I think, the bottom 3 in baseball. You have the ERA, both the starters and the bullpen. It's the bottom 3 or 5 in the baseball. There's a lot of things that are going bad for the Houston Astros right now. And you would not think that this would be happening to this team. But because of injuries, I know everybody keeps on saying, well, you have 6 or 7 of your starters on the IL at any one point. Other teams are dealing with this. The Dodgers have had most of their teams on their rotation on the IL as well. It just, for some reason, the Astros have just been just whatever. Bad luck this year. Maybe once May comes, things will change or something. Maybe the Astros just need to go ahead and get the trash can going again.
No, Eric,
something.
Stop, Eric. Now we got you talking about trash cans. We got people in here talking about witchcraft. I mean, look, guys, we're kind of going off the rails here. Look, I'll tell you right now, I think this is Jeff Bagwell. They're going to show us why they're relentless. Watch them go on a 10-game win streak. That's Jeff Bagwell right there. He's watching our show. I'm just saying. Jokes is a space cowboy. Look, you could have Caratini and Diaz in there more regularly. Put Caratini at first, platoon him. That takes care of your Singleton issue. I know Singleton's better than Abreu, but so is a rock sitting on the beach. I mean, They both do the same thing. As much as I respect Abreu's pass, as much as I respect his ability to hit a ball earlier in his career, it's just not it. And y'all got to stick around, because the last segment, we're going to announce the title of a weekly segment we're going to have, and we're calling it Orbit or Plummet. It's a new meter we're going to have. Are we going back into orbit, or are we plummeting? And we had someone win that name contest, and we're going to be sending them a Yordan Alvarez 2022 World Series ring. So I put that up there today. So thank y'all, all of y'all who suggested a name. But Eric, this makes me hungry. I want to talk about DoorDash. Hey guys, look, DoorDash, even though I say I'm hungry, DoorDash actually is good for more than just food. Use the code LOCKEDONMLB today, and you can get a really great deal. 50% off your next order up to $15 when you spend $15+ on your next flour, convenience, grocery, or retail order now on DoorDash. Incorporate this into your daily life. This is what I want you to do. I want you to realize that your mother is special. Well, okay, I don't need to tell you that. So this is what you got to do. Instead of going to the store, grab DoorDash and see what they have. You can get flowers to surprise her with, chocolates to surprise her with, gifts that are thoughtful. Select from hundreds of expertly crafted bouquets to the best of tech and self-care essentials that you need for her that she can have delivered right to her door. It's never too late to show mom your love this Mother's Day with DoorDash. Surprise mom with flowers, gadgets, and self-care essentials. Get thoughtful gifts she deserves. Shop for the savings that make her proud. $0 delivery fee. Reduced service fees on eligible orders from Dash Pass merchants that meet the minimum subtotal. Other fees apply. Terms do apply. So right now, you get 50% off your next order up to $15 when you spend $15 on your next flour, convenient, or grocery store purchase. Use the code LOCKEDONMLB, LOCKED. MLB. Use DoorDash today.
Guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go and subscribe to us. Go and make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Go and check us out. But go and check out Michael Connor on the Locked On Astros postcast as well. After every game, win or lose, you'll see Michael do it. And go and check out Locked On Sports Day, 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube. You can go and watch it on your Amazon Fire TV app. Just go and stream the free channels app as well, and go ahead and check out all the game action on SiriusXM. Just go and search Astros, and you're going to hear all the play-by-play coverage in the Mexico series that will be coming up. So we're going to talk about that in a second. But Brett, so Joe Espada, the Astros are what, 7-19 right now. We'll talk about Justin Verlander in a second. So Joe Espada had his first major league. He got thrown out of the ball game for the first time as a manager. So it was very civil. So this is how I imagine it went. Excuse me, sir. I do not like how you've been calling the strike zone today. So I'm going to pretend like I'm getting mad. I'm really trying to motivate my team. So can you pretend like you're getting a little bit angry and just give me a few minutes? I'm going to say a couple words to you. And you could go ahead and throw me out at that moment, but I do not like the strike zone, and I think your strike zone has sucked tonight. So thank you. You can throw me out now. All right, you're out of here. It was like the most civil thing. Like Dusty Baker would be in his face, AJ Hinch would be in his face.
Oh no,
what was that? It was like weird timing too.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think you downplayed it enough. I think you did a good job trying to bring the temperature down on that conversation. But it was like, when I saw the replay, I was like, wait, why did he throw him out? That reminded me the only time I've been thrown out of a Little League baseball game. I didn't even, no, I guess I was a little bit more emotional, but I didn't get personal. I didn't use any foul language, and the kid threw me out. And anyways, that, look, usually a manager gets thrown out sometimes as a tactic to motivate your team. Right. And that's kind of where you were going with that. Right. But that's the thing. I haven't seen, and look, maybe Joe Espada is not your emotional guy. But it's bad when people are saying, man, I wish we had Aaron Boone fighting for us. And I'm like, how many World Series has Aaron Boone managed in? And, Joe Espada has at least been on the bench, been the bench coach for the 2022 World Series, because he got here in 18 after our 2017 run.
Right.
Look, I don't know what's going on. But I'm so tired of saying, well, if Dusty was here, if Maldonado was here, things would be different. Okay. No, that's not really, it's not that nuanced.
Now I'm going to go and do Justin Verlander if he was having the same conversation with the umpire. Okay, look, I don't agree with your strike zone. You don't know what you're doing. You need to get your eyes checked. What the heck is going on here? You know why Justin Verlander covers his mouth with his glove? So John Boy can't read what he's doing later.
Really? He does that?
I don't know, but do you notice that when Verlander gets pissed off about being taken out of game, he always covers his mouth? So
yeah. Well, I promise you, Justin Verlander said that ref called a ball a strike a ball, and I guarantee that dude used flowery language, and that dude got pissed off, dropped a few F-bombs, probably went to the clubhouse, probably threw some. Look, I'm just saying.
Well,
Justin
I think Verlander was pissed off about being taken out. Yeah.
Well, but I think he was more upset because if you look at that at bat where Nico Horner got the hit, the last when he had 2 strikes, that would have been the 3rd strike. He would have been able to finish. See, he would have qualified for a win had he been in there for 2 outs if the Astros would have won. Well, we know they didn't end up winning it. But that's where because Verlander's the last of he's got the only shot really to get to 300. He's at 258, I believe, right now. And so he can do it. He won't do it this year, next year. But if he plays all next year and then maybe into some the next year, he could probably reach 300 wins. This team is just, it doesn't make any sense, y'all. It just doesn't make any sense. I initially disagreed with Justin Verlander being pulled, but it's 95 pitches at the beginning of the season. It's only his 2nd start. Montero, I love the move coming in. Maybe he left Montero in too long, but Montero's been dealing. Why wouldn't you keep Montero in? Montero has one of the best ERAs on this entire relief staff. So Montero's having a great year. So leave him in there. That was one of the few mistakes that you saw from this team. And so don't blame the relief pitchers. Don't blame Justin Verlander. Blame this gosh darn offense. Blame these guys that get up. They get all these runners on base and all these hits in the 1st inning, and then they act like they can't hit the ball. Or John Singleton just watching a freaking fastball go right down the middle, and they go, oh, he has good plate discipline. Well, probably so good that he keeps the bat on his shoulder. That's not good plate discipline. That's just not doing anything. And so JV is going to help steady the ship. I really think his energy is going to come through. I think Ronel Blanco, when he's on the mound right now, the team's confident. When we can freaking get Javier back, which I'm pissed off about that'll be good. I really think that Framber Valdez, I believe he's going to start this weekend. And if he does, Eric, and comes back, he needs to have a darn good start. He needs to come out and capitalize on this opportunity because the team needs these starting pitchers really, really bad. But dang it, offense, get off your you-know-whats and get your heads out of your tail end and start hitting the freaking ball.
Justin Verlander was limited to 90 pitches before the game. That's what Joe Espada said.
Okay.
So the first game he pitched 78 pitches. So Joe Espada would like to have kept him at 90 pitches. He threw 95 pitches. So Espada let him know this before the game. So it shouldn't have been too alarming. It was the 4 walks. Even Verlander was disappointed in himself. The fact that he allowed so many walks. He said after the game, was it 4? Was it 5? I don't know. It's stupid. It's too many walks anyway. And he did have 7 strikeouts. He was basically keeping the Cubs offense under control. And then once the bullpen came in, Rafael Montero gave up the 2 runs, and then Brian Brady gave up the home run. The first major league hit to Austin, was it Crow? I forgot was his Pete Austin or something Crow. So, but the bullpen for the most part has been a little bit better recently, but Verlander, I think we got to realize that he's 41 years old now.
41. Well, it is, and
he's 2nd start.
Well, yeah, whether he's 41 or 27, it is the 2nd start, and you're not going to gas out your best pitcher, right, your most veteran pitcher. So today, someone goes, even family-friendly Brett has more passion than Espada. Yeah, I'm trying to be family-friendly. Trust me. I kind of wish sometimes we were on a network that didn't mind if we let it fly every once in a while. But I think you guys can read between the lines. And really, what's the point? It's over. The game's over. So me getting upset about it and cussing about it, it's not going to solve anything. It may make me feel better in the moment. But hey, we're going to Mexico. and Trey Cabbage may get to pinch hit and hit a freaking tank.
No, he needs to start. He needs to start.
Okay.
Try something new.
Okay.
Try something new.
Okay. I got you, Eric. So let's start Trey Cabbage. Dude, I talked to Cabbage last time they were in town. Good dude. Let me tell you, man, this dude, he looks like a freaking fullback in the NFL. This dude is juiced up. I mean, he looks like a freaking rock, bro.
Right.
All right, and that gets me pumped up about FanDuel because FanDuel's America's #1 sports book. Go to FanDuel.com/locked on. It's playoff time, baby, in the NBA and NHL. That's right. The baseball is in full swing. Well, if you're the Astros, it's in full check swing right now because we're waiting to see a really good hit drop and score a lot of runs. But I digress because I want to tell you about FanDuel because FanDuel is your place to bet on every game. I don't care if the Astros are winning or losing. Why? Because new customers get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed. Win or lose. That's right. You bet, win or lose, you get your money. That's really cool. Bet on everything from slap shots to home runs to slam dunks. All on an app that is safe, that is secure, and that is easy to use. I mean, why not? What are you waiting for? Just visit FanDuel.com/locked on and make your first bet an automatic win. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook.
Guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go and subscribe to us. Go make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Go and check us out. Check out Michael Connor on the Locked On Astros postcast as well. If you can't get enough Astros talk, go ahead and check that out as well. So I know that everybody's focus now is on the Mexico City series against the Rockies. The Rockies are not a good team. This is going to be at high elevation, so the ball should travel a little bit more. It's also going to be a little bit harder to breathe up there, so I'm sure the players are going to be the air's a little bit light up there. So this is definitely something that we saw the series last year. I want to say it was the Padres versus I forgot what team it was, but it seemed like it was exciting baseball of there. Like the fans really enjoy it. And so I think if the Astros and the Rockies bring some type of energy to the game, then I think the fans in Mexico City will enjoy this. But the Astros haven't really done that recently, so they need to do that. But before today's game, the Astros, I think it was Brian McTaggart said that sources say that Trey Cabbage would be recalled as the 27th player for this for the 2-game series. And I didn't realize how good a season he's been having so far. So this is a guy the Astros got from the Angels. He is a first baseman, outfielder as well. He is batting .271 with a 440 OPS, 926 OPS plus. 926 OPS and a 440 on base percentage. He's got 3 home runs, 9 RBIs, and 7 stolen bases. That's impressive. 7 stolen bases in 17 games. So that's pretty good.
So last year it was the Giants and the Padres who played each other. So yeah, that was an exciting series. There was quite a few long balls from what I understand hitting that series. I don't know, like 5,000 of them or whatever. I don't remember the exact total. Maybe I inflated, but the first game was 16-11. The second game was 6-4. So there was definitely quite a bit of scoring that went on. Now, you don't know what team is going to show up. The Astros have the ability. Look, here's the deal. If Ronel Blanco can pitch every game, and me and my friend Mike, who were there, can go to every game that Ronel Blanco pitches in, then I think the Astros have a chance of getting back to 500 pretty quickly. But we know that can't happen. The bottom line is this. This offense, I just, when Yordan Alvarez is going down looking at strikes, a third strike, it has to be between the ears, guys. Look at this lineup on paper. You still have commentators saying, I still have the Astros as a World Series team. Like what? Like really? Like we got more articles coming out. Are the Astros done? Is this the end? Will the Astros make the playoffs? But you still have some people saying this is still, look at the roster. On paper, they're supposed to beat you. And so right now what we need is the Cincinnati Reds who are in Arlington. We need them to take care of the Arlington Rangers. Okay. We need to have them take care of the Rangers for us. I talked to Jeff this afternoon with Locked On Reds. He said, man, we were kind of hoping you'd give us some help with the Cubs. I'm like, well, we're not really the team to help right now. We're just kind of limping. I was like, but y'all could help us by beating the crap out of the Rangers. And I dared him to call them the Southern Oklahoma Rangers on his show. Let's see if he does it.
All right. So Framber Valdez is also going to return. He's going to pitch on Sunday. He's going to be limited to about 70 to 80 pitches, Joe Espada said. So this is good news after his stint on IL with inflammation. Runel Blanco will start Saturday. And just remember the altitude is 7,350 above sea level. So that means it's going to travel pretty far. So the Giants and Padres combined for 11 home runs last year. So the Astros have been struggling recently to get extra base hits. So maybe this would be a way to generate some more power there. But going back to Trey Cabbage, the Astros have a first base problem. I know John Singleton has looked a little bit better recently, but he has 0 RBIs. We don't know what you get from Jose Abreu. So at this point, there's a couple options. Gray Kessinger. I'm sure he's a great player, but what role is he playing for? He's like a backup. So what you can do is he's a backup to backup, but you can bring up Cesar Salazar as a backup catcher and send down Gray Kessinger. And then you can have Victor Carantini be more available to play first base.
No, I'm DFA and Singleton. I'm sorry, he's off the team. If I'm bringing up Salazar for a third catcher,
yeah,
I'm just saying.
But you can also bring up seeing how Cabbage does during the series, and then you can make that decision between Cabbage and Singleton.
Well, I think all day it's Cabbage, just because. But I mean, Cesar Salazar, because look, you should have Diaz and Carantini in this offense almost every day. I don't know that you should have Dubon in this offense every day. I think Dubon needs to be your pinch hit guy. Because like I said earlier, remember, he's got one of the worst batting averages with nobody on base. And the numbers have been better with Diaz in DH versus catcher this year, but he still is a better hitter when he's catching. And so
he's a better hitter when there's no runners on base versus when there's runners in scoring position.
I noticed that. Well, I know that was said last year, and I know that's why they made that move in ALCS Game 5, but I'm just saying, it's just one of those things where
it's a mental thing.
At the end of the day, they've got to find a way to fight through it. Now, I know you and I have made these comments kind of offhand, and some people have too, like they don't care, they don't have any. I don't think they have energy, but I really doubt they don't care. I don't think it's because they're like whatever. I mean, these guys have won for so long. Don't you think they're down in the dumps about losing? Do you think they give a crap? I really do think they give a crap.
Right.
And so, yeah.
Hey, did you hear what Joey Loperfido did? He had 2 home runs.
Well, okay. Yes, he did. And you know what? I made some Loperfido loops. Okay. Y'all need to go watch that. But let's not get too happy about the home runs in Reno. Do you realize it's higher elevation there?
Okay, so if the Astros hit home runs in Mexico City, they have asterisks next to them?
No, that's true. No, I didn't say they have asterisks. I'm just someone like brought that up to me, and I'm like, yeah, but he has a lot of home runs in Constellation Field.
Right.
But look, yeah, 2 home runs again today. I mean, the kid's what is he up to 13 or 14 now? Is it 13?
I think he has 12 home runs now.
Well, are you sure? Because I thought he had 11 going into today.
He has 12. I'm looking at it right now.
Okay. All right. I could have sworn he had 13, but hey, I've been known to be wrong from time to time.
So yeah, the first one was, I think the first one was 457 feet. The second was 427 feet. And he is actually the first, he tied Yordan Alvarez minor league record and to hit his 12 home run in his 21st game of the season.
Wow, that's a lot of home runs in the little games.
Yes.
All right, so hey, we're about to go, so we're gonna announce this. I think we already announced it. So next show we're going to have our first orbit or plummet meter. Are we closer to orbit or are we closer to plummeting? You notice the subliminal message I sent before I announced it, the orbit baseball. Guys, hang in there. Girls, hang in there. They're having a day off. Tomorrow's a good day. The Astros don't play baseball. Never thought I would say that on this podcast. Haven't said that before, but actually maybe I have, but I was joking. So, Eric, do you have hope this weekend? What's up?
Yes, and don't forget, Alex Bregman did get 2 hits in this game, batting second, and he did reach his 1,000 hit, and he is the 14th Astro to reach that milestone. So that is a big moment for Alex Bregman. So Alex Bregman, since he's moved to number 2 hole, has looked a little bit better. So it's just baby steps with him. So we'll see what the move does down the road. But at this point, you've got to think bigger and roster moves. Greg Kensinger, he's not doing anything here. John Singleton, let's do something else. And we'll talk about this on the next Locked On Astros podcast. Hopefully the Astros did good in Mexico City. My name is Eric Huysman. He's Brett Chancey, and we are the Locked On Astros podcast. And go Stros.
Go Stros. That's a wrap.